Okay, welcome back to part 3. Now, we're going to move to parallel modes. You may remember that there are two types of modes, relative and parallel. Relatives are the ones that naturally occur within a scale. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, and so on. So you kind of still feel like those scales still relate back to the Ionian mode. That's just the way that's just the way our ears work. So I think it's more important that we're able to recognize the parallel modes, and those are the ones where we change the notes inside of the octave so it makes the mode and makes it sound like it's a different kind of a tonality. So we can tell that that's the Ionian mode because it's a major scale. We've had that beaten into us. It's ingrained. We know what that is. But if I change the inside, you may recognize that as minor. It's kind of a standard scale. Very common. However, if I do this, one of the first things you're going to hear is this. And hopefully you recognize that as something different than. So it's a minor second, and there are only a few scales that have a minor second. Chromatic for one. I'm not even going to use that one. Or Phrygian or Locrian. So you'll know if it's Phrygian or Locrian by the time I get to the fifth. This must be a Phrygian scale. Or when you have a flatted fifth, it really sounds different. It's a game changer. So listen for that. Don't fight it. If it feels funny, I don't know, you might feel it in the back of your neck. Who knows? But if you feel that, that's going to be Locrian. If we do something like this, now you know it's a major scale, or could be Lydian. Major. Hear the difference? There's a big difference. I know that's only a half step away, but if you play something that sounds very major, and if you go way different sound, that's a very different sound. So if you're listening for that, you're going to have to choose between major and Lydian. Okay, there are two others. If we go like this, that sounds very minor. Now, if you can hear a minor scale, you know that the next note is. But if you hear this, it's Dorian, because it has that. And minor is. Hear the leading tone on top? As opposed to. Has a brighter sound. Okay, so that's the difference between those two. So as you're listening, if you say to yourself, that sounds pretty minor, then you'll find out on the sixth, whether it's the Dorian sixth or the minor sixth. And then the next one is. Right now you're saying, oh, this is a piece of cake. Major scale. It is. It isn't. The introduction of that flatted 7 gives you the mixed Lydian sound. So when you start that way, you're going to find that you're thinking major, 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 whoops. Now, what we're really talking about is how the modes also have harmonic context. Once again, it's back to context. And you're going to be able to listen to those and put together the information and have it tell you what scale it is. All right, so these aren't going to be named by letter. These are just going to be qualities of what the scale is. So we're going to have Ionians, Dorians, Phrygians, Lydians, Mixolydians, Aeolians, and Locrians. That's it. So let's do some of those. Here we go. You can listen to that as many times as you want to, and then here's the answer. That's a Mixolydian scale. Here's the telling tale right here. The seventh is flatted. Okay, next one. Wait for it. That is a Dorian scale. It has a raised sixth. Okay, next one. Ionian. It's a major scale. Okay, next one. Hear the darkness there? It's one more degree darker than minor. That's a big hint if you know how to construct the modes. That is a Phrygian scale. Okay, next one. By the way, as you hear the first note, try to build your pop-up menu to figure out what kind of things you're listening to. So you'll know if you get to something that sounds unfamiliar, you'll know why. All right, here we go with the next one. Kind of ominous sounding, isn't it? It's a Locrian scale. That may sound really odd to you. You might not even like it. I will tell you, after being exposed to these scales for years and years and years, I think that one's very interesting, and there's a lot of beauty in it. There's a lot of complexity. There's a lot of dissonance, but there's beauty. Okay. All right, next one. I'm kind of emphasizing a note just for a clue. That's a pretty interesting note. That is a Lydian scale. And finally, that's a pretty dark sounding scale, and it's because of the key it's in, I'm sure. It's B flat. A lot of famous sad things are written in B flat. It's just an extra sad key. But what scale is that? It's a minor scale. Natural minor. Okay, you can do as many of those as you want to as well. But that's an overview of how you might put together harmonic context, even though it's just scales. All right, this is Craig Faniani for the Sacramento Jazz Education Foundation, signing off. Please go to the next level and carry on. Thanks for listening.